What if the darkest parts of you held the key to your deepest healing? What if the monsters in your dreams were symbols of your soul trying to speak? And what if the journey to become whole meant facing everything you were taught to ignore? This is the story of Carl Jung, the man who dove into the unconscious and came back with the blueprint of the human soul. Carl Gustav Jung was born in 1875 in Switzerland, to a quiet pastor father and a deeply spiritual mother. From the very beginning, Jung lived between two worlds, the world of religion and reason, and the world of dreams, symbols, and shadows. As a child, Jung experienced strange visions and intense dreams. He once dreamt of an underground temple, a place filled with deep mystery. He didn't know it then, but these early dreams would become the foundation of his life's work. In school, Jung felt like an outsider. He was shy, often lost in thought, and fascinated by things others ignored, like ancient myths, alchemy, and inner voices. While others chased success, Jung was already chasing the soul. In 1907, Carl Jung met Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Freud saw Jung as his spiritual son, and Jung saw Freud as a genius, a mentor, even a friend. Together, they explored the unconscious, dreams, and the roots of human suffering. But Jung saw something Freud didn't. Freud believed everything could be reduced to sex and childhood trauma. But Jung believed the unconscious was far bigger, a living spiritual realm filled with symbols, archetypes, and a collective memory. Jung couldn't stay in Freud's shadow. In 1913, after publishing ideas Freud rejected, Jung broke away. The split was devastating. He wrote in his diary, "It was as if I had lost my soul." He was thrown into what he later called a confrontation with the unconscious, a time of intense inner chaos. But out of this darkness came light. For years, Jung explored his dreams, fantasies, and visions, and documented them in a secret manuscript called The Red Book. It was filled with strange drawings, mythic characters, and deep psychological truths. This wasn't madness. It was individuation, the process of becoming your true whole self. Jung believed that to heal, we must go inward, not just to fix the ego, but to discover the self, the totality of who we are, including our darkest parts. And that's when Jung gave us one of his most powerful insights. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Jung introduced the world to the shadow, the part of us we hide, deny, and repress. It's our anger, envy, fear, selfishness, but also our unused potential. He said that if we don't confront our shadow, it controls us from within. We project it onto others. We judge people for the very things we refuse to admit in ourselves. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The shadow isn't evil, it's just unknown. Jung taught that facing it, bringing it to light, is the first step to true growth. As Jung watched the world plunge into war and ideological chaos, he didn't point to bombs or politics as the root of destruction. He looked inward. With piercing insight, he declared, "The greatest danger to our planet is not natural disasters or external enemies. It is the human mind, unexamined, unconscious, and uncontrolled. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." We must learn to master the mind, or the mind will master us. The real war is not out there, it's within. These were not just words. They were warnings. Warnings from a man who believed that true peace in the world must begin with peace in the soul. Carl Jung didn't predict World War II in a political sense, but he saw it coming through the lens of the human psyche. In the 1930s, he warned of a rising psychic epidemic in Europe, where people were unconsciously projecting their inner darkness, their shadow, onto others. He believed that when societies fail to face their own inner chaos, that chaos erupts into the world. To Jung, the war was not just a political tragedy, but a psychological one, a brutal reminder of what happens when we ignore the darkness within. Jung didn't stop at the personal unconscious. He introduced a bold, radical idea, the collective, unconscious, a shared reservoir of symbols, myths, and images that all humans inherit. Inside it live the archetypes, universal characters like the hero, the part of us that strives for greatness, the shadow, the dark figure we must face, the anima, animus, our inner feminine and masculine energies, the wise old man, the trickster, the child, the mother. We see these archetypes in religions, myths, fairy tales, movies, even our dreams. They're not just stories, they are us. Jung believed that the unconscious speaks in symbols, and if we learn its language, we can unlock our inner truth. Jung saw dreams not as meaningless, but as messages from the soul. He treated each dream like a sacred text, full of wisdom. He also explored alchemy, Eastern philosophies, Christianity, and meditation, not to escape science, but to understand the deeper layers of the psyche. To Jung, healing wasn't about perfection. It was about integration, embracing your light and your darkness, your reason and your soul. He called this journey individuation, the path to becoming a whole, authentic human being. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung passed away in 1961, but his ideas only grew stronger. Today, millions are discovering his teachings through therapy, books, films, and spiritual practice. His ideas have shaped psychology, art, storytelling, and even AI. But perhaps his greatest gift is the courage to look within. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. We live in a world full of distractions, noise, and fear. Jung's life reminds us that true healing begins in silence, in dreams, and in the parts of ourselves we've been taught to run from. So, ask yourself, what's hiding in your shadow? What symbols are calling you from your dreams? Are you ready to become who you truly are? If this story moved you, inspired you, or opened a new doorway within, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone on their own journey inward. And in the comments, let us know. What part of Jung's wisdom speaks to your soul the most? Until next time, keep looking within.